Get cool stuff for what you were going to do anyway. Drink beer. With Buy Beer, Get Gear from Labatt, you can just snap a photo of your receipt and upload it to the website to rack up points for exclusive merch. Get points for every purchase, whether you're grabbing a pint on draft, a case for a party, or a tall boy at the stadium. Any size, any product, anywhere you buy Labatt. Buy beer, get gear. Sign up now at rewards.labattusa.com.
Radio.
Now, stand back for your own safety.
Steve, what's up?
Congrats on the win.
Thanks, Steve. Where Paulie at?
Here we go.
I'm checking out. I will respond to you, but I'm done for the week. I'm done.
Steve is my favorite part of the show. How's that?
I like that. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Check for sound.
Pleasure to be on there talking with Paulie, man. He's a good dude.
I'm an idiot. I'll just shut up and let you talk. I was trying to help.
And shout out to Tupac.
3, 2, 1, and
This is Orange Nation.
Well, hello, Paulie and Steve.
With Stephen Fonte and Paulie Sibilia.
Check it out. Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to have you with us. Alongside Paulie Sibilia, I'm Stephen Fonte. It's a Thursday edition of Orange Nation, which, of course, means we've got the head coach of the Orange, Adrian Autry, set to join us at 1 o'clock. Voice of the Orange, Matt Park, 1:30. Plus, we'll mix in your phone calls throughout at 315-437-7644. What's up, Paulie?
Not much. How'd you sleep last night, Steve?
If we're being honest, I slept miserably. I got to bed late. Do you really care? Or is this one of those where, like, I'm fine?
No, go ahead. Talk for an hour about your sleep. Yeah.
My daughter flew back home last night. They're off. She's a teacher down in New York City. They're off this week for the school break. And she flew home last night. She was visiting friends in Tennessee and flew home to Syracuse last night. She was supposed to land at 11:45, 11:50, which is right when I get done with work. It was perfect. I was going to pick her up, take her home. How about landing at about 12:45, and then they didn't have the jet bridge ready because it was literally the last flight coming into Hancock. She didn't get out to the car until about 1:30, and then I was up at 7:30. So, I'm struggling a little bit today, but it's all good. It's all good.
I won't say when.
I know you don't care at all. You asked, and you said you wanted to know the honest answer. That was the honest answer.
All right. Next time, just say I slept fine.
Okay. I prefaced it with, do you want the honest answer? You said talk for as long as I want. So.
LA Orange in our chat says, wah. I do the news for a living. Steve Infanti.
Paulie Sibilia.
If you were the coach next year for Syracuse basketball, let's play a game. Yeah. Who would you like back if you could have back? I tend to hate this because if it is a new coach, probably none of them will be back, right? Because the players won't want to stay, and the coach probably doesn't want them to stay. And then also,
I don't know about the coach not wanting him to stay. Why wouldn't it?
Because he wants his own dudes.
No, I get it, but you got to fill out a whole roster. If you've got, like we were talking about this before the show, if Nate Kings gets another year, for instance,
he wants his dudes.
I don't know. I'm not sold on the fact that a new coach just doesn't want anybody else on this roster just because they're on this roster.
Kyan Anthony's got to stay.
I think you would want him to stay if you're the new coach. Yes.
LA Orange says Fran kept dudes. Yeah, you've got a lot more players on a football team. You're
right, but you're still filling out a roster. And if you've got guys who have been here,
then people stick around.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. You said the players would want to leave and the coach would want them to leave. I get the players wanting to leave. If the coach sees like a talented guy who's here and you're like, I would love to have Nate Kings for one more year.
I don't know. I think if I was the coach,
Donnie Freeman.
Dudes.
I don't think Donnie's going to be back. But if that was an option, you wouldn't say like, yeah, give me Donnie.
I would want my dudes, and I would want a new culture. That's what everybody wants.
But if you're coming from St. Louis or George Mason, like you might bring a couple guys with you, but you're not bringing a lot of dudes. You said, I want my dudes.
You're going to get dudes out of the portal.
Yeah.
All right. You got to do it that way.
Well, I don't think there's any one way you have to do it, but that would be the way you do it.
I tend to think that's how it's going to go.
So you just asked me who would I have back, and then you just blew up the conversation by saying
I didn't say
none of them.
That's not what I did, Steve. If you listen, you sound like our listeners. You didn't listen to what I said beforehand. I said I hate this because they probably won't, but we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll play along. I unlike you, will play along with stupid bits.
So if you were the new coach,
if I were the new coach,
you don't want any guy. You don't want anybody
I told
back.
you I would want Cayenne Anthony back.
Oh, okay, all right.
You didn't hear me. You really clearly did not listen. Maybe you only got 6 hours of sleep last night.
5. It was 5 or less, if we're being honest.
All right. Legitimately though, if I listen to our listeners and the people on Twitter, I would take the whole team back because it's just the coach's fault.
Right.
Right? Isn't that it?
I think
mean,
you're
any
onto
other
something
coach would win with this team.
I would take Calvin Russell back because they want him here to play football. I don't know how much basketball he's going to play in his future, but Calvin Russell's got to be at Syracuse. I love William Kyle. You know that he's out of eligibility. So unless they change the rule about everybody getting 5 years, we keep hearing that all athletes are going to get 5 years. If that were to happen and he had an extra year, sign me up for William Kyle. Love the way he plays, but he's out of eligibility. JJ's out of eligibility. I think if Nate Kings gets that extra year, I would love to keep Nate Kings. I think he might be their best player right now. I know going into the year we looked at it as Donnie, and Donnie's obviously very talented. Hasn't played well for the most part against the better competition. Had one really good half against North Carolina, but struggled against Virginia, struggled against Duke, was not there for the Vegas trip or for the Tennessee game. I think Nate Kings might be their best player. I would sign me up for Nate Kings, and I think you would want to keep Cayenne and Sadiq.
Honestly, I don't get why you wouldn't want everybody on this roster back, maybe a different pay rate. I would want Tyler Betsy back. You could do a lot worse than Nate George. I know you don't like him. You could do a lot worse than him. You probably wouldn't pay him the same amount you paid him this year.
Well, you weren't here at the beginning of the week, and that's what Tim and I talked about. We said at the right price.
Yeah, he's probably going to take a pay cut.
Well,
Sadiq White
probably have to take a pay cut. I don't know if he will take a pay cut, but
he's going to. Nobody's going to pay him probably what he got this year anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know. It's a whole new world in the SEC. I mean, we don't know. You don't know what he can command in the SEC. I don't know.
I would want Cayenne Anthony, Sadiq White, Nathan George, Tyler Betsy, Nate Kings, and Sheffy Diawara because he's a big dude and learning the game.
Jim Sadlin loves him. I heard them talking about him and Matt talking about it the other day, that he thinks he could develop into something down the road. I know he's a big fan of Sheffy.
Yeah, I would do that. And if you can get William Kyle one more year, why not? It maybe an NBA look. Tim wrote. I don't think he translates to the NBA.
No,
because he's the size of a 4 or a 3,
but plays like a 7.
Yeah, and he's got no offensive game.
Yeah.
Like he can't hit a jump shot.
Can't step out and shoot. Yeah. I would be surprised if he lands in the NBA. He's fun to watch though.
Yeah, play overseas somewhere.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I would love to see him in the Syracuse uniform again. He's out of eligibility though. So unless they change the rules, he's not coming back. You didn't mention we haven't really seen Luke Fennell this year. I mean, I don't really know what he brings to the table. We haven't gotten to see him in action.
Yeah, I'm sure. But like with Luke Fennell, he can probably play somewhere else, and he's probably not probably not good enough to play here.
Correct.
No matter who the coach is next year.
Yeah, that's fair. Especially when you go back into the portal and sign some other guys. That's a fair point. I'm just saying there's other guys on the roster that you kind of overlook because, you forget about like Aaron Womack who's redshirting. You forget about Fennell because he hasn't played.
Why wouldn't you want Tyler Betsy back? He comes in, if he's hitting his shots, you want him, and if he's not, you just sit him.
Yeah. So you just went from you don't want anybody to now you just named like 6 guys that you would take.
Yeah. I doubt that what I just said would happen, but why wouldn't you want these guys back? They're all talented. They all played. You would have built-in chemistry.
But that was my argument to you before the show. You said, "Oh, nobody's going to be back."
I don't think they'll come back. Like some people came here to play for sure.
Right, that's the players, though. You said the coach wouldn't want anybody.
I don't think the coach would want anybody from this.
Okay, that's the part. You just said, "Why wouldn't you?" And that would be my rebuttal to you. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want Sadiq and Cayenne? Why wouldn't you?
I would, but if I was a new coach coming in who hasn't seen these guys for years, I just want to clean house and get brand new, fresh. Players who are not part of.
You've got no freshmen lined up, so you're talking about going in and getting everybody out of the portal, a completely new roster out of the portal.
You have to.
No, you don't have to. You could keep some of these guys.
No, you can't get freshmen at this point.
No,
you have to get the whole. Listen to me, Steve.
I'm saying
I was told Rick Pitino does not want players out of the portal, so that's all we got to do.
I'm saying you don't have to fill an entire roster out of the portal because if you kept some guys.
What if the coach that comes in has a guy he wants to come play for him?
Okay. That's one.
Yeah,
two.
But maybe two. But I just tend to think that the new coach will blow it up.
And that may happen. But that would be my rebuttal to you is why wouldn't you want Cayenne? Why wouldn't you want Sadiq?
Because I'm coming in and I'm starting my own culture. It's not like football where you need a billion guys. You get one right guy in basketball and you're back in the tournament.
Okay. So you're going to take guys out of the portal that have no chance to play. If you're filling out an entire roster, you're going to the 12th, 13th, 14th.
Yeah, you bring guys with you. You're going to have to do that, Steve. Even if
or you could keep some guys.
Yeah, or the players want to leave. Like, what is the retention? Like, both ways. What is the retention of players when a new coach comes in? It's probably like 90% leave.
Yeah, I would say from a player's perspective, the players want to go.
But I'm saying is even if the coach gets rid of them all, or if they leave, you're going to have to do that anyways.
Okay. All right. We shall see. We don't have to argue about this, but I think we look at this the same way. You just said, why wouldn't you want to keep some of these guys? I agree with you. Why wouldn't you want to keep some of these guys?
I just tend to think if I was coming in and building a new culture and just looking at the fan base, I would probably want just all new guys, except for Cayenne Anthony, because I want Carmelo Anthony,
I mean, we had Mike Waters on yesterday, and he put Sadiq at the top of his list, I do think Sadiq's going to turn into a good player down the road. I mean, he's got some things to work on, obviously, but...
And this is a Syracuse problem that he's facing, too, is like they need to get somebody in here who's going to make these guys get bigger. And I don't know what it is at Syracuse. Is there something in the water? Like, dudes don't get bigger here. It's been an issue since I've been here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know we talk about the physicality. I mean, Eddie Lampke was a pretty physical guy, but it's, I don't know. They went with the opposite of what they had last year at the center position. And in some ways it's, why are you laughing?
Just keep going. I'm just laughing at a check.
Oh, okay, go ahead. What were you going to say?
It's not, it just says, but Paulie, if Cayenne leaves, you get your seat back.
That is true.
All right, so keep going.
No, but I mean, last year we saw that they went with the big dude in the middle.
Well, he came big, and he was a fifth year. Like, if you're going to get freshmen, they need to get bigger from as they get older.
But you don't. That's the thing, though. In this day and age, you don't keep guys for that long. Like, you bring them in as a freshman or sophomore, you're not going to see him as a senior.
You couldn't put 5 pounds on Marek Dolezaj? God, man, get him in the gym. Feed him an ice cream sandwich.
Pizza. He liked pizza a lot.
Yeah, feed him 15.
Yeah.
I like pizza, and I get fat without even trying. I'm not running up and down the court, but
this is true.
It just seems like it's been an issue. Like they need to be stronger, and they need to be, there's so much that needs to change. And look, the new coach might come in, the new players might have relationships with them. They might stay, they might go. The coach might want them out. Whatever we say, is it going to change that? We don't even know, like, who the new coach is, if there's a new coach. We don't know any of that stuff.
That's what sports talk radio is. We speculate.
Yeah. Like, everybody's got their mind. Like, the people on Twitter want Hodgson out of South Florida.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's like, we need a proven, like, all the names on the list have never been to, like, it feels like none of them have been to the NCAA tournament. Like, it's a different world when you get to the ACC. It's easier to win in the Atlantic.
Sure, of
than
course.
it is to win in the ACC.
Of course.
You're not playing Duke, So you're going to have to get the right coach. And I tend to think there's going to be a search committee. I tend to think Carmelo will, this is another thing. Carmelo needs to be part. I tend to think Carmelo will be on the search committee for the next coach. Right?
I would think so, especially if you want to keep his son around, which I would assume the university would want that, desperately want that. So that would make a lot of sense, yes.
Yeah. So it's just so much what if right now. And I saw another person say that they don't want John Wildhack having anything to do with the position. He's here till July 1st. Well, if he doesn't have anything to do with it, then you might not be making a coaching change. He's going to have something to do with it.
I just happened to glance down at the chat, and I see Gavin Doty's name pop in there. We were talking about that before we came on, about...
yeah, we literally brought that up.
We literally were talking about, Siena, and would there be anybody from Siena? I think Gavin Doty could play here. I do. He may be the player of the year in that conference. He's in the mix. He's probably one of 3 in that conference being considered for player of the year. He's been awesome. Now, would he be the number 1 option? Probably not. Could he play here? I think he could. So, anyway, a local kid went to Fulton and is having a fantastic year over there at Siena.
I mean, you may want him even if GMAC doesn't come.
Yeah, well, right, yes, yeah. And he might want to come, even if GMAC doesn't come. They've got a very tight relationship. I don't know if that would happen or not, but I do think he's good enough, and I think he's showing everybody this year that he is good enough, to take a jump in level of competition. That's our opening drive. It's brought to you by Burdick BMW of Cicero. Phone lines open all of hour number 1 if you want to check in. 315-437-7644. Adrian Autry, 1 o'clock. Matt Park, 1:30. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
I don't want to work. I want to bang on a drum all day. And if people do want retention, you'd probably want an in-house guy if you wanted retention, because that's got the best shot. Like if Carmelo tells the kids, hey, this Hop guy's good, this GMAC guy's good, stick around. That'll probably be your best bet at retaining him. But if Carmelo's also on the committee, he might be able to do the same thing if he helped pick the coach.
Shelp 77, I'll say this. It's short-sighted to think that guys at that level can't play at this level. And there are plenty of examples last several years of teams that went to the Final Four with lower-level guys. Look at what Louisville did when Kelsey came in. You can be a lower level, low to mid-major type player and then absolutely thrive at the next level. It happens quite a bit.
Yeah. I'm not saying that, but it's not a guarantee.
I was responding to a comment in the chat.
But when you move up and you also get the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year to come play point guard for you, and
well, right, yes, I mean, yeah, I mean,
I don't know, you're gonna.
Shelp, I agree. You can't guarantee him a starting job. I'm just saying he is good enough to contribute here. He's a very good player. He really does everything. He's been fun. I've watched a lot of Siena this year just because he's he's a local kid, so we show highlights of them quite a bit, and he's been awesome. Gavendo, by the way, we never talked about the pizza you had the other. Did you order that pizza the other night, or was that?
Oh, he ordered your pizza.
He did. Well, there's I don't think there was pineapple on it, but there was everything else.
Gross. Well, I guess chicken and broccoli would be okay alone.
I didn't see pineapple on it, but that's what I'm curious. He sent me a picture, but did he actually eat it? I want to know.
Oh, yeah, that's a good pizza. Chicken, broccoli, ricotta.
It's the same thing I order with the extent there's just no pineapple.
Yeah, gross. You know, those things don't go together. Broccoli and pineapple don't belong together unless there's teriyaki sauce on it.
I actually have a slice of that pizza today with me. It's in the fridge here. You could. I'll give you a bite of it.
I
if
hope
you want.
you choke on it. What do we use for dual video? vMix, it's called.
Oh man.
Shit on a pizza doesn't sound good. Yeah, I agree with that, bowling ball. Steve, would you order a shit pizza? No. Dates this week. No, last week I had one, but not this week. I've had that NIL, and it's not great. I mean, if you're in World War II or the Civil War, and that's all you got. I can't believe Steve answered that question either. We're growing the brand, the Q66. Should the women's team be ranked, Steve?
I would say no, not yet. They are having a great year. They lack a signature win.
Just get to the tournament, or we'll fire her too.
Now, if they go 3-0 down the stretch here, finish top 4 in the conference, now you might be able to rank them.
And a boy, bring back the curtain. Just be a jerk. Let's go big first one, Steve. Phil Collins is our artist of the day. You could have just played his whole library. They're all good.
Yeah.
This is a good pick. I don't think there's a guy on the internet that has more fake death stories than Phil Collins.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because he had a bad knee and he's like got a home nurse now, so everybody thinks he's dying.
Gotcha.
Just fake AI stories, just like Red got extended. I don't like the internet anymore.
Is Against All Odds in the catalog today?
You'll have to wait and see.
All right. I hope you can work that in. That was.
You didn't answer my question. I don't like the internet anymore because
you didn't. There was a statement. That wasn't a question.
Yeah. Could you agree with me? Like, just people. There's AI stories. That
AI is scary.
They come out every day, and dumb people fall for them.
Yeah.
Like there's, they people like Carmelo Anthony told Donnie Freeman he should quit basketball because he uncrusted his sandwich, and there's all these fake quotes in it and everything.
It's scary stuff. I think I told you. I don't think I said this on the air.
I fall for some. I'm not.
There was a story in the Midwest about a parent that wanted an athletic director fired, and he faked the audio of the athletic director using a derogatory term, a racial term, and it was his voice through AI. Like, he didn't say it, but it was his voice saying what the parent wanted him to say, and they presented it to the school board. And initially, the guy got fired, and then eventually it came out that it was like that's scary stuff.
Yeah. You got to read the whole story too. Like, so many people fell for a story the other day that Cayenne transferred in the middle of the year. Like, people were texting me, and I go, "Did you read it? It said he's going to a middle school."
Yeah.
They send me the article. Did you see this? And then I open it up. Cayenne Anthony's transferring to a middle school. Okay, guys, come on.
Read the story. Right? Yeah. Read the story.
I like the old days when I was just naive and didn't know what was going on in the world because you had to watch the news at 6 o'clock.
You can still watch the news at 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
and
but
11
that was the only way you could consume it, though, is if that was where you got your news from.
Yeah.
It was a better world back then.
I agree. Let's get back to that.
People had to watch your terrible newscast. I mean, great newscast. Sorry. I didn't want to lump everybody into that. So your terrible sportscast.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm going to bite my tongue.
All right.
That was unnecessary.
You're
ornery today.
I'm vicious. I'm vicious today.
Why?
I just don't like. There's just people so happy that they're mad that the team is spiraling and the program is spiraling, but they're also happy in a way. It just irks me. It just irks me. Like, everybody got mad at Coach Jack for coming out and saying, have some positivity. You know, you can still, be mad about things and just not be a jerk about it. Like, there's going to be a change made. You got what you wanted, just stop.
Yeah.
Coach Autry didn't want to fail at his job. I can promise you that. And he wanted to win as much as you did, if not more.
Well, I would say more. Yes, it's his life.
And just, you don't have to be a jerk about it.
Yeah.
Nobody just because he's making a lot more money than we are, it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt any less or you can take it more.
Yeah, correct. The going after Coach Jack, I still think is weird. And I just saw somebody take a shot at her after the PTI thing where Wilbon and Kornheiser were talking about it. And then, there was a tweet about, referring to Coach Jack. Like, I don't get it. Like, that's who she is. She's positive.
And by being positive, you don't even have to be positive. You just wait for the change.
Right, just be a human being. Yeah, right. Yeah. And that's all she was trying to say.
People are sick of the gaslighting, Elliot. Who's gaslighting you right now? We're literally, what did I say right there that was gaslighting?
Yeah.
Nobody's gaslighting. Everybody knows what the outcome is going to be, barring an absolute miracle run in the tournament.
Yeah.
We all knew that since the beginning of the season. There's been no gaslighting.
Yeah.
Right?
Fan base is angry. So they're going to stay angry for another month, and then maybe it'll settle down a little bit.
Yeah. But there's no guarantee the next coach will work. Right? It could get worse.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, again, I do think fans need to be realistic about what it's going to take to succeed here. And that's where everybody loses their mind about NIL. Well, if they had more NIL, maybe they could have beaten Hofstra and BC. That's not what I'm saying. I think we all know that, you look at this is just a fact, right? You look at the standings right now. We're getting ready for our pregame show on Saturday. And so I put together the standings last night. I was putting a graphic together. The 6 teams that are the top 6 in the conference right now are probably the top 6 in terms of NIL, right?
Steve.
I'm just saying.
Please don't do this to me today.
I'm just saying.
I was thinking that too. I have a feeling that the ACC is probably going to fall just like their NIL does, and I hate that would happen.
Right.
And everybody's mad. I get it. But you could just. What makes something mean saying the head coach failed as a head coach? That I just said that. That isn't mean.
That's not mean. No.
That's not what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It's just you don't need to, he played at Syracuse. You just wait it out.
Yeah.
You don't have to pee on his grave.
Yeah. Agreed.
Paul, Syracuse athletics is a dumpster fire and the school is asking for more and more money. Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Kelvin Sampson at Houston is asking for more and more money, and that's not a dumpster fire. Yeah, everybody's asking for more and more money.
And if they don't get that money, that dumpster fire is just going to continue to burn.
Yeah, right.
But nobody wants to hear that from me.
Well, and so that's where I was going, is that a change is coming. I think we can all see that. They have to figure out the NIL piece of it as well. It has to go in conjunction because – I know everybody wants to blame Red for everything. Red is going to lose his job if things continue down this path. But to think that somebody else is going to come in and just snap their fingers and it's going to be, a tournament team, that's not how it works, especially this day and age. need to figure out the NIL.
Why does Syracuse say they're poor and then not spend? Because they can only spend the same amount as everybody else, and they're doing that. It's on the fans, alumni, and everybody else in the community to pay the rest. That's just how the system is right now. That's why they're asking you for money. And it's not in the form of tickets. You can't use the ticket money unless they put a surcharge on it that goes directly to NIL.
Right, like Tennessee football's doing that, right? And maybe that's coming next.
And then people will be mad about that.
Right, people lose their minds about that.
Good of Brian.
Brian, what's going on?
Hey, guys, how are you?
We're okay. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. Here, we've been spoiled throughout my lifetime. SU has made it to a Final Four every decade since, 77? And we've been spoiled with that, and I think we had some rose-colored glasses on here in the area where we think that it can work out. We had a wonderful coach, a Hall of Fame coach, and we had all the ponies for years that we needed to run and get it done. And then the talent fell off a little bit, and we're working with some not as talented players and with a great coach and expecting the same results, which is kind of crazy and stupid to do. And unfortunately, we changed drivers in midstream and said, okay, Boeheim's off, and now you're on, Red, and get it done. Go to it. Good luck. And I just think it's really kind of an unfair expectation for him to get it done when you don't have what it takes to get it done, whether it be coaching experience, the talent, the backing. And it's just unfair for him and the whole community, and we'll see what happens with the new direction of the athletic department and see if it's real, if they're going to buck up or not. When you look at Penn State, they were in the BCS last year. They started off 3-3, winning the first 3 games, and they fired James Franklin. Is that a message? Is that something that we have to take out of their page? And where the investment is made, you're gonna get the rewards. Like they have Penn State has an amazing wrestling program where they have, I think, 13 national champions for the last 15 years or something like that, and they pluck the best player out of any system. And maybe SU lacrosse can get back to that. Back in the heydays, if there's NAI back in the 90s, we would have every player. But we'll see what the focus is with the new administration coming in, and if we can buck up. Thanks for your time, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, we appreciate you checking in, Brian. And we were talking about this the other day about Syracuse is trying to. Syracuse has to figure out its focus right now. Right? Is it football? Is it solely football? Is it football and basketball? Is it football, basketball, lacrosse? Is it everything?
It's
everything. Do you want to be good at everything? How do you be good at how can you be good at everything in this day and age, given the NIL resources that you have currently? They've got a lot to figure out. New chancellor, new AD, new coach, most likely. You got to figure out what you are. Are you a football school? Are you a football basketball school? Are you a football basketball lacrosse? Are you everything? And it's schools around the country are dealing with this right now. He brings up Penn State. Penn State is nothing when it comes to basketball. They are strictly a football school, maybe wrestling as well, as he was pointing to. But they know what they are. They are football and football only right now, sacrificing the basketball program. Nobody around here wants that. You want both. How do you get both right now? It's not an easy answer.
LA Orange says, don't talk about Orange Standard in competing and don't spend and charge $100 for tickets. That's how you get the money, first of all. And second of all, they have spent. There's new football facilities. They renovated the dome. They spent the max they could in NIL. They're spending. Could they spend a little more on a coach? They might. Depends on the guy's pedigree, right? You don't hire, like, if you're going to get somebody that's never been to an NCAA tournament before and coached at the AAC level, you're not going to pay him as much as if you go after maybe a Shaka Smart, who would be probably gettable money-wise because he's probably not making a lot where he is.
Let's get another phone call in. Drew in Chicago up next. Drew, what's going on?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. I'm here to talk about Hop and not here to bash him at all. I think fans have done plenty of that. But I just want to talk about his resume and maybe why he would or would not be a fit for the job.
Okay.
So Hop's pitch to to the fans, as you guys have kind of laid it out, would be as a fundraiser, as a recruiter. People know him. He's good at getting people in the door, fundraising-wise, and boosters. But what he's done with that at Washington, given his past, he had a top 10 recruiting class there, and they went under 500, and that was with 2 NBA players. So off the back of that, you get more fundraising, more NIL, better players. It doesn't necessarily lead to success. And he only had 1 tournament in 7 seasons there. So we've seen, he can get the players in the door, but that hasn't necessarily led to success. I'll hang up and listen.
Okay. All right. Appreciate you checking in. Yes, his tenure got off to a good start there. First 2 years, over 20 wins, went to the tournament after finishing first in the conference his second year, and then they struggled his third year, then COVID hit, and they never figured it out after COVID. He was essentially a 500 coach after COVID. I think that Mike Hopkins has his strengths and weaknesses, right? And I think that the caller there, Paulie, just laid out his strengths in terms of, I think those are his strengths. In terms of the weaknesses, you can come up with reasons why he struggled at Washington on the back end of his tenure. I tend to think that he's a very good basketball coach. Like, he knows the game. He's got head coaching experience. Would the same thing happen here? I don't know, because I think this day and age, it's so much about the rosters that you have put together with the NIL and the talent that you have and so on and so forth. And yes, he had some talented players there. But, if you come in and you're able to strike it with the NIL, you're able to put together a roster full of those guys. So I don't know. I mean, I get that the track record is going to be used against him. But he also has some intangibles that other guys might not have.
Yeah, he knows what he's getting into when he gets here.
Yeah.
And I brought up those things before. Like, there are things that happen at Syracuse that don't happen anywhere else in the country. Like, you can't practice in your own facility maybe the day before a game because there's a lacrosse game or a women's basketball game going on. There's a lot. There's a lot of things that you don't deal with elsewhere here, but it's also a good job, I tend to think.
Yeah. And, it is tough to explain, why didn't he succeed with Isaiah Stewart? Isaiah Stewart, NBA player, was highly touted.
But it's easy to name Isaiah Stewart, and then we don't know any other players on that team.
I understand. Right. That's what I was going to say, is that, maybe just the talent just wasn't around him. I mean, Isaiah, I just pulled it up. He averaged 17 points, 9 boards per game that year.
But that's his fault also for not getting players
correct
around.
Yeah, so it's a valid point. It's a valid point when you look at his resume and you say, you know what, he had some talented teams, and he had some talented teams, especially when he started there, and he won 20 plus games his first 2 years. The Isaiah Stewart year is hard to explain because they went 15 and 17 with an NBA talent, and then again COVID hit, and they did not respond on the other side of COVID. He was 500 from there on out, and we know what happened. He was let go, and there was some conference realignment and conference expansion in there, and it didn't work out. But do I think he's a good coach? I do think he's a good coach, but I understand this track record is going to be used against him.
San Diego says those things are so minor. They are. They're minor if you just do them one at a time. But if you say, hey, look, we're going to have a concert at the Dome in November, or an event at the Dome in November, and you can't play a home game for a week. That happens only if you're playing in an NBA arena anywhere else, You can't practice in your home facility. It's not fun for it's not that common of an occurrence.
Yeah, and I see Delemacus is bringing up his ties to the East in terms of recruiting, and he couldn't keep pulling guys from the East out there to Washington. That's a valid point. And his main ties are here in recruiting. Yeah. So. Now, he's been in the NBA, and he's got a lot of experience, and he's got head coaching experience, and he's got experience here. I do think he would be a good fundraiser. I do think the fans would love him. I think the players would love him.
I think the former players would love him.
Former players would love him. But, is he, is he the right guy for the job? I don't know. I think he's going to be in the mix.
Yeah, I tend to think I say it's not a major part of what hiring the next coach is what the fans say, but it does play some, and that might be a hard sell.
But I think some are going to love him. I think the fan base is decided or is divided rather about this topic.
Yeah.
About whether or not you would take a look at Hop and or Jerry. I think that there are some that would love it, and I think there are some, as we've seen, that would hate it and be against it. I think the fan base is divided on this topic.
I just want everybody to unite around one thing.
I don't think you're going to get that.
Oh, let's break. We're way behind.
Okay.
Tim's yelling at us through the chat, through my computer.
Okay. We'll take a timeout. Phone lines remain open. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
Yeah, Gaper, I've said that since day one. If you listen to the fans, you become a fan. You can't listen to the fans when you're making a coaching hire. Sorry. Oh, and believe me, the people that are handing over money that actually makes a difference, Gaper, will have a say in who the next coach is. Thank you, CJC. Gabriel, you're not very bright. Gabriel, if you're giving lots of money, you'll have a say in the next coach. Stephen wants to talk spring training. Let's go. Grapefruit League talk. I haven't had that in a while. You know what, Gabriel? You're right. Let's just let 311 Heaven make the decision in the next head coach. You're right. Let's do that. 311 Heaven is the search committee for the next head coach.
Yeah, I got in sort of an argument with a caller the other day because they were saying you can't hire Hop or GMAC because the fans won't go with it. And I was like, if they start winning, then
the fans will go with whoever. So, I said that about Red. I said that about Red. If Red had won this year, we wouldn't be doing this. Like the fans would be there. That's all it's going to take. Winning cures all.
Should I tell them? Should we just push it to the second hour? Or should I tell David to have them call back? Because we're going to be behind.
No, we'll take Stefan and we'll break, and then we'll take
tell the guy, whoever it is, just tell him we got to take a break, and he's going to have to wait through the commercial.
Yeah, if Red was successful, Gabriel, you would be at the games, you dummy. Or do you just hate Red personally? Did he sleep with your mom?
All right, so Stefan, break. Then we'll take Lee plus Jake.
How much time?
I mean, it's going to be tight. We might just want to do Stefan, Jake.
Break.
And then do Lee into coach.
Okay, we can.
And make it up on
Yeah. No, you're right. You should be on the search committee. I would feel so comfortable, Gabriel, if you were on the search committee. You should just make the choice. I'm not trolling 311 Heaven. I'm just saying that you can't let them make the coaching decision, guys. That's not being a troll.
Jake.
Okay, how about 211 Heaven?
He just wanted to say that he wants GMAC because he also likes GMAC staff and thinks that would be a good staff. So he's not going to call. So go Stefan, break, and then we'll be back on that.
Yeah, Club 44. We'll let those guys will make the choice. The people sitting at Club 44. Is that better? The student section. How about that? Is that better? We'll let the student section What's 311 Heaven? It's just a section that they have assigned. Otto's Army should pick the next coach. Correct. Like an all-star ballot. We'll have a bunch of coaches' names and they can just punch out the Chads. Steve, I've come up with the idea of how we're going to get the next head coach hired if they decide to do that at Syracuse. We're going to do it like an all-star ballot. They used to at the MLB games.
Yeah, right.
We'll just put a bunch of names on there and people will pop out their Chads.
Circle the bubbles with a number 2 pencil.
Yeah. We'll run it through a Scantron.
Brilliant.
Yes. People are mad at me because I said they should let 311 Heaven pick, like I was taking a shot at 311 Heaven. No, I'm just saying. You can't let fans make decisions like that.
Stefan in Utica up next. Stefan, what's up?
Well, hello, Paulie and Steve.
How are you, Stefan?
Hello, Stefan. There.
Well, a couple of things. Under a new head coach, what current players on the roster would return under a new head coach?
Well, we don't know. We actually talked about it at the beginning of the show. I don't know. Who would you keep, Stefan, if you were in charge?
Cayenne Anthony, because his dad is an alum and his dad helped win a championship.
Yeah. I think he's high on the list. I would agree with that.
Anything else? You want to hit us on spring training?
Yeah, tomorrow and Saturday, Yankees and Mets start spring training games.
Yeah, I look forward to baseball. I can't wait for it to start. It's my escape. I just need it to start now.
It'll be fun. The Mets have a whole new roster except for a few players, and it'll be good to see that. And the Yankees are running it back.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The Mets roster, I think the Mets got a good lineup. They lost Pete Alonso, Steve, but I think they got a pretty good lineup still.
Yeah. All right, Stefan. I'm not even thinking baseball right now, but I'm glad you guys are.
Get off of do it. Try it. Put a baseball thought in your head. I got taught that as a kid, like in my teenage years. Just think about baseball.
We're going to take a time out. We're going to wrap up hour number 1 next. We're going to check in on the market, and then we're going to bring on Adrian and Autry at 1 o'clock. And we are back after this on ESPN Radio. You have problems.
Come on, I almost got you to break character there, Steve.
Oh, I got to call Mario back.
I almost did it, Dominic.
So, do you get the emails that go to the assignment desk? Oh, okay. So,
I got to work no matter who the coach is. And that's the same thing, basically, that Mike Waters said yesterday, and you guys all got mad. Doesn't matter to me who the coach is. I got to still work and do this and engineer the games, and my life doesn't change. I've only been to the Boom Boom Mex. I've been talking about going out to try that. Alphabet guy, you want to go with me? You want to go have a date with me? We'll go out and try Boom Boom Italiano together. You think Steve will be mad I just asked Alphabet Guy to go have dinner with me before him? Do you guys want to go out there? I'll meet you guys all out there. I'll have a chat Italian dinner with you guys. Let's go. I'm feeling it. I think you might be a little jealous, Gaper. How much time, Steve? A minute and a half. You can come too, Big Poppy. You want to go to dinner with Alphabet Guy and I? Let's do this. Next Tuesday. Let's go. Boom Boom Italiano. Got to go before 7:30, though, apparently. I got to do the Coach Jack show on Monday, Autry on Thursday, so Tuesday's free. Steve, I'm going out with a chat. Are you bad? I'm going to go to dinner with Alphabet Guy, and my name is Big Poppy. Is that okay with you?
Why would I care?
Because I didn't ask.
Because you go out with them, and I ask you all the time to do stuff, and you never want to?
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you guys going?
Boom Boom Italiano. You're invited.
I'm not invited?
I've never been. Let's go out to Boom Boom Italiano.
What day are you guys going?
Tuesday. I don't even know if they're going, but no, I'm going. Hey, whoever the salesperson is on this, you owe me. Big Poppy can't be there.
I can't go Tuesday either. Next week's not good for me.
What if they have good chicken and Fonty? Want me to bring one back for you?
Yeah, it'd be great.
No, Steve's low-key stewing that this is happening with him. He's like, can I go? He's going to call Kim crying. Don't laugh at my mistakes, Steve. I don't laugh at yours. You make them all the time. I think Phil Collins had it right with this one. You know this one, Steve? I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I should just take that attitude in life. But I do care. I'm a caring soul.
Well, we all care about the market. And so with that in mind, let's bring on Mike from Lee Baldwin & Company, and he can fill us in on how the market's doing today. Mike, what's up?
Hey, guys. Well, the market giveth, the market taketh. I think yesterday at this time we were up about 400 points in the Dow, and today we're down 332. So down across the board. Little reaction to earnings. Oil's up with the Iran trouble ahead, or hopefully not trouble, but the talks that are going on over there. So a little jittery today, but we do have a nice diamond. John Deere, symbol DE, had great earnings. They gave a great outlook. They're overcoming all the tariff problems, and the stock's trading up $76 to an all-time high, $669 a share. So that's up 13% on the day. So a great day for John Deere. And our dog, we're going to go with some of the casino stocks, Las Vegas Sands, MGM, both trading down about 3%. They announced that Las Vegas traffic was down about 7.5% last year for all visitors across the board. So they're reacting a little negatively. I think the Canadians have stopped coming down in droves like they used to, so it's having a little effect on some of the casino stocks. Hopefully we can get a little bit of rally into the close and get out of the red today, guys.
All right. Appreciate you coming on, Mike. Thanks for the info.
I think that was a coded message.
What's that?
Get out of the red. I think he's a chatter.
All the diamonds, none of the dogs. Be sure to visit LeeBaldwin.com. You do have problems. I said that earlier. I stand by it.
That
you
seems
have problems,
like a coded message.
Yeah. We did have somebody call in during the break who, through his support behind Jerry McNamara, said in part really loves the staff that he's put together.
Let's go hire him.
I do think the fan base is decided, or is divided. I keep saying decided. Is divided on this topic.
Good thing they don't have a say in it.
Yeah.
I get people mad when I say that. I am glad that I would say that about it, no matter where I was. If the fans were making decisions, like, my goodness. My goodness. There wouldn't be anybody coaching right now because they would have fired everybody. Fired.
Well, either nobody or a lot of people would be coaching because there's 12 different people they want as the head coach.
They'd be on their 15th search committee for this season.
Yeah.
The market is a lot like Syracuse basketball. Like
volatile.
Man. I got killed at the beginning of the year for being too negative when everybody was rejoicing a 1-point loss to Houston. It feels like a decade ago.
It does,
I was like, guys, why are you guys happy? They still lost. They lost. And you guys are all like, we're back. No, we're not back. They lost. And then they lose by 31 to Iowa State, and everybody's down again. And then they beat Tennessee, and it's here we come. We're going to the Final Four. It's just it's been an exhausting year.
Played 5 good halves out there.
Oh, I forgot all about that hot take. That was a good one. That was one of your better ones. Let's take a time out. The head coach will join us next.
Adrian Autry on the other side. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
Oh, it's poor Tim. Nobody ever says poor Paulie when I'm getting beat up. Is it because I'm a man, Steve, and I can take it?
I wasn't listening. What happened?
I don't like you either. I am an alpha, thank you. I'm a tiny little alpha. I haven't been throwing steel, man. My leg hurt. I finally...
Burst a sack?
I finally called and made an appointment for PT. I was trying to put it off, but it just keeps hurting. Unlike you, though, I play through the pain, Steve.
I played with mono,
Yeah.
Risked my life.
Almost died on the court.
I did. Shenanigans. It's not a word you hear often. You know who used to say shenanigans all the time is Katie. Have you talked to Katie recently?
I haven't. I got to go to the men's room.
Okay.
Because I'm a man, Steve. I don't know if you know that.
San Diego Cuse, I think we are going to have him on the show. One of the PR people reached out to me about it, and I said, yeah, let's do it. We haven't set up a date or a time yet, but yeah, it's like early April. He's going to be in town for 2 days, so we're going to try to get him here in studio. I will say this, Alphabet guy, it's going to be a highly sought-after job. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Ugh.
Okay. Would you be AD, Gabriel wants to know? Are you putting your name in?
I'm not qualified.
Do we know the status of the UNC roster?
So you're talking about Vasar? Is he going to play? So Hubert Davis on Monday said he was hoping he could practice some point this week, but there's no update on his status.
Someone in the chat requested this, Steve. I probably should have written it down. But here's a long-distance dedication request to someone in the chat. Susudio. Did you know he couldn't think of a name when he was writing this song, so he just wrote Susudio, and then he kept it?
I did not know that.
He was just filling it. He was just filling it in until he could come up with a name.
That's interesting. That's an interesting nugget. That's a good kicker.
Thanks.
We're driving into our second hour, brought to you by Burdick BMW of Cicero.
I wish someone would kick me right in the face. I'm sure I could make a lot of money if I asked people to do that.
You, during the break, brought up the health of UNC's two top scorers. They've played the last two games without Caleb Wilson and Henry Vasar. Wilson, of course, dealing with that fracture in his left hand. He's got a cast it's like a cast-like brace on that left hand now. And the latest on him is that they said he will be back soon. Do I think he's going to play Saturday? Probably not. We'll find out later in the week when the ACC's injury report comes out. I do not expect him to play. Vasar is an interesting case. He's been dealing with both injury and illness, and he's missed the last two games. And Hubert Davis, after they played the other night against NC State, said that he hadn't practiced. They were hoping to get him back on the court to practice at some point this week. And then, he's considered day-to-day, I guess, officially, but we don't know whether or not we're going to see him Saturday as well. They have looked like a different team without those two guys.
Yeah, the committee will have an interesting job to do with that. Because that does play into things. Like, they do look like a completely different team.
Yeah, I mean, they just got blown out at NC State without those two guys. So we'll see. We'll see how long they're out for. The good news for UNC fans and for Caleb Wilson is that it does not sound season-ending. It sounds like he's going to come back and try to play with it.
It feels like what happened to JJ last year.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, could be. We don't know the details of the injury. We just know that it's a fracture in his left hand, his non-shooting hand, wearing a brace and a cast right now. And again, we don't know his status for Saturday's game. With that, let's bring on the head coach of the Orange, brought to you every week by Oswego County Mutual, Adrian Autry, joining us now. And Coach, as always, we appreciate the time. And as always, let's start with your thoughts on the previous game, the loss to Duke. You were right there with about 3 minutes to go in the first half, down 5, and then Duke hit you with that 11-0 run to close out the half, and things kind of went downhill from there.
Yeah, you summed it up, perfectly. I thought we fought, for those up until those last 2-3 minutes, and Duke is a team that plays in spurts, and they finished the half on a really high note, and we couldn't recover from there, and that was pretty much the game. We would have liked it to be more competitive, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But they're a very good team. I think they've lost, won a game or 2 games in the last 2 years in league play. So, like I told our guys, that's a very good team, and we disappointed in our performance, and we would have liked to be more competitive and try to win the game, but that didn't happen. We just got to move forward and get ready for Saturday.
Coach, you kind of touched on it right there, but I was curious to hear what your message was to the team afterwards. And I know you had a day off, scheduled day off on Tuesday, and then got back to practice yesterday. What has been your message, both after the game and at practice yesterday for the guys to kind of, reset their focus?
We had to summarize last week of what we did. I mean, again, and every team has to do it, but again, we beat 2 teams that are potentially tournament teams at home. One, we had 2 NCAA tournament team games, and we had to battle. We went to overtime with Cal, and then we had to turn around and claw our way and fight our way back against SMU, and then turn back and turn around the next day and go down there, which every team has that turn, and we've had it twice when we went down to play North Carolina and Duke, and those were those are tough situations, and everyone has to do it. We just didn't. I thought we fought, that first half, and then we kind of ran out of gas. And again, in that 3-game stretch, we had 3 NCAA tournament teams. We went 2-1, and now that's how we're going to piece this up and finish out this season. We got 4 more games that are all 3 quad 1 opportunities, and another home game against a good Pittsburgh team. And so we got to take that week by week. We'll have more time to prepare, and I think that'll be advantageous for us.
Coach, in the second half there, what can you do to maybe stop things like that from getting that far out of hand
Nothing.
In a game like that?
You can't do nothing. There's no 20-point play. There's no 20-point timeout, 15-point timeout. It's nothing but try to encourage your guys to keep fighting and try to, just try to find some fight. And again, as a coach, when you get in those situations, you just, you really just encourage your guys to just to fight, keep fighting, and try to get on the run, try to switch up defenses here and there. Every time we switched it up, they had an answer for it. It was just one of those games. And, for us, you guys got to move on. Again, we got a great opportunity coming against a really good North Carolina team, a quad 1 opportunity, and that's how that's the only thing that you can do about that last game.
Donnie has struggled against some of the better teams this year. Had that one really good half against North Carolina, but struggled against Virginia, struggled against Duke. Is it because he's at the top of the scouting report? Is it a physicality thing? How do you get Donnie going against some of the better competition that you're facing?
Well, I think we got to try to move the ball around a little bit better and try to use his quickness to his advantage, because those are bigger physical teams. I think we got to give him the ball in different places on the floor, and then we got to be able to make quicker decisions and things like that. But it's really movement and trying to get the ball to him in different places on the floor that works to his advantage.
2 years ago, you guys lost by 36 at UNC, and then they came here to the Dome and you knocked them off. Do you draw upon that experience at all, and do you remind the players, obviously, aside from JJ, the players weren't here, but do you remind them at all of, hey, listen, it can happen where you have trouble against, and you laid out some of the reasons why you had trouble with Carolina the first time around. Now they're coming to your building. They're a little banged up. It can happen. Do you remind them at all of what happened 2 years ago?
No, we talk about, if you look at the landscape of college basketball, in particular this last week, obviously, blowouts, you've seen a lot of big losses, and that's part of college basketball. That's part of basketball, period. Like, you have those days, and that's what you really talk about. We would love to, not be a part of that, but that happens, It was several big losses across college basketball. What I mean by a loss, 20 points, 25 points, whatever the case may be. So that happens. You see it at the highest level too, 30-point losses. You just got to be able to bounce back. Everything is about recovery, and that's what we talk about. And yes, we can pull from those experiences. Yes, we will, talk about that. And it happens all the time. You lose a game, on the road, and then you come back and you play back. You're back in your home crowd, and obviously a great opportunity for for us to play on a Saturday against Carolina at home. The guys will be excited for that. We're excited for that. And, the only thing that matters is the next game now. We can't change anything in the past. So it's really about moving forward.
Can you draw anything off of the second half you guys had at North Carolina?
Yeah, I thought we did some. I think we've drawn from that even in our last two wins last week. Take away the Duke game, we did learn some stuff of some things that we could do better, things that kind of worked and impacted us. So we'll continue to work on those and use those going forward.
And along those lines, Coach, just that first meeting in general, when you look at North Carolina, and they're a little bit different this week, as we were discussing as you were popping on, they're dealing with a couple of injuries, which I know you're fully aware of. But in that first meeting, what stood out to you about Carolina, and maybe what did they do well in that game that you guys are going to have to try to neutralize this time around?
Well, I thought their physicality on the perimeter was really physicality, period. I thought they really made it tough for us to get to our spots, running to the ball, using ball screens. I thought they did a really good job of steering us off our ball screens. And then, Vessa and Caleb Wilson, that's just, I thought they just had some really big moments for them. Caleb, some of that stuff you can't guard it. He just made big time moves, big time defensive moves, rebounding, whatever you call it. Like he fell one time and we tried to get the ball on him. He just popped up with one hand and caught it in the transition. And Besser, is a handful, 7 feet. Could shoot it, pass it. They did a good job of getting those guys the ball. They made some plays like that, but I was impressed with their physicality, their rebounding. Obviously, Carolina's always a good rebounding team. Their physicality and rebounding, I thought really that's what stood out to us. And I thought in the second half, when we, made a run, I thought we got a little bit more comfortable. We did a little bit more things to loosen them up to get ourselves going.
You just brought up their two top scorers who they've missed the last couple of games. Both have missed the games after the Miami one. That's where Caleb Wilson got hurt. Actually played in the second half of that game. X-rays were negative, and then afterwards they saw the fracture in his left hand, and so he's been out since. Vesar similarly has been dealing with an illness and an injury. We don't know the status of either guy going into Saturday. How do things change? And what have you noticed, I guess, about them the last two games? How do things change for that team when they're not on the floor?
Well, you could just look at the results, man. I mean, big time. I mean, again, I think they account for more than half of their rebounds, points, everything. So those are two big blows for them if they don't have those guys. But, I thought the guys that they still got really good players there, Trimble and, the freshman Dixon. And, they got guys that can, shoot the ball. And I thought Zayden Hyde has had some big games for them since those guys have been down, and Stevenson. So they still got really good players. They're just a little different. But you talk about missing, they're probably missing, two, big, NBA players, to be honest with you. That's what they're missing right there. And that's a lot, to try to count at one time.
Coach, how's the morale of the team been this week at practice?
We've had a great practice, great energy. The one thing I keep saying that these guys have not quit. They understand the opportunity, and we talk about it. It's some team somewhere in our same situation that has, that's going to make this run. Right, like that's what we're trying to be, that team that makes the run. Again, we got 3 quad one opportunities left on our schedule, which if if you're in our situation, that's all you can ask for. So these guys are excited. The coaching staff is excited to be able to try to finish this thing out the way we want it to finish out, and then keep moving forward. We're just going to keep our heads down and keep going because again, this is you start to look at the back end of all of these schedules. Some people got a lot of tough schedules ahead, and I think we have great opportunities. Some people don't have that opportunity. So you can't focus on it except just focus on it one game at a time. But we got great opportunity, and that's all we're talking about is being able to have the opportunity. And, we had a very spirited practice yesterday. The guys are looking forward to it. This group is resilient, and they're going to keep fighting. We got a chance, and we still got to finish out this season, and then we gonna pick our heads up, and then we'll go to the ACC tournament and see what happens.
Coach, last one for you. There's going to be a special ceremony inside the Dome on Saturday. I know you're going to be busy, but at halftime, they're sending Jim Lee's jersey and Rudy Hackett's jersey up to the rafters. And when I know that you've been in and around Syracuse basketball for a really long time. When you look at that 1975 team and those two guys in particular, it almost seems like that team and those guys helped lay the foundation for the next 50 years of Syracuse basketball. Just wanted to get your thoughts on those two guys. Finally being honored seems a long time overdue, but for them to get their rightful place up there in the rafters.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. I had a chance, I had a chance to really speak more frequently with Jim Lee, and obviously I had a chance to meet Rudy, and two great players, two great ambassadors of that orange standard that we talk about. I think those guys are the guys that obviously are part of that. They've been very supportive, and I've talked to them a lot about that season. And I think they had one of those little droughts, and then they made that run as well. So again, I'm just very happy and honored that they're being honored and their jersey being retired, and they deserve it. They deserve it.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. That'll be at halftime of the Syracuse-North Carolina game on Saturday, 1 o'clock tip inside the Dome. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time. Best of luck. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right. Adrian Autry joining us here on the show, brought to you every week by Oswego County Mutual. We'll take a time out. We'll get to today's business on the other side, and then Matt Park, voice of the Orange, joins us at 1:30. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
NIL guy, what would you have asked him? What would you have asked him, NIL?
Well, we didn't ask the right questions?
We were not one hard question. I thought mine was pretty hard.
I mean, I asked him about Donnie. What do you want us to ask him? Come on.
No, I want to know what he wants us to ask him.
Yeah, I mean.
Why do you stink?
It's just, whatever. You guys do your jobs, we'll do ours.
I mean, they do everything perfectly. They're all basketball coaches. They're radio hosts. They do everything great. They're better at everybody's job. Yeah, I know, Showbro Michael. But I just want to hear what he would have asked.
What went wrong? How do you stop a run like that? What's going on with Donnie against the better competition? Like, I don't... You act like those are softballs.
How about a follow-up question? Okay, you just said nothing, so can I get more out of him than nothing? Okay, that was a horrible response. But he said nothing, so if I ask him again, he's going to say nothing. Why are you taking his horrible answer out on me?
Oh.
I'm not here to start a fight either. Like, I don't want to fight with him.
Oh,
This is the Morton Downey Jr.
Will you do me a favor? Can you put some more ice in there? And then when we do today's business, just kind of like...
Will you do that again in front of the camera so people can do it?
No, just rattle your ice.
Do it again. How you do. Guys, now if you're being a jerk, I want that box to be shared everywhere.
Drives me nuts when he rattles his ice on the mic, right in front of the microphone. And I tell him about it, and then he does it like every show. Yep. Ted in the chat agrees with me, Paulie, that the rattling of ice bothers him too.
Go to hell, Ted. There, how you like that?
People have spoken. I'm just.
If I listen to Ted, I'm as dumb as anybody that would listen to a coach card. You worry about your job. I'll worry about mine. You know what? I don't like the stupid chat, but I still read it. Oh, well. You'll survive. Can we let Phil Collins cook? Just for a segment. I can't do this anymore. All right, this is our hope for Saturday in the Dome. We just get that feeling back in Syracuse. One more night. Syracuse just stomps on a quad one team. Can we get that for Phil and his bad knees and back? Can we just let him cook? Can we just not talk for the rest of the show? I just think, do you think I could retire and just be a dog sitter? Like, what?
No,
what?
I don't.
Like, people are mad at us we didn't ask tough questions. Like, what do you want us to ask at this point? Why didn't I follow up when he said nothing?
He said, what went wrong? How do you stop a run like that? What's going on with Donnie against the better teams?
Okay, so if someone said to you, what could you do to stop a run like that? Nothing. Oh, could you elaborate on nothing, please? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I feel bad for Tim and his setup here. We got to rectify this for you with your.
I hope
with your cord.
Everybody is better at their jobs.
Well, they clearly are. Everyone.
Everybody knows how to do our job. They're coaches. They're Do they do this at restaurants? Like, oh yeah, I would have probably added a little more oregano in this. And like, come on,
less red sauce. That's the secret.
That's a horrible take.
I do love the going back and saying, well, you said this at the start of the year and that's wrong. Isn't that the whole point of sports talk radio? Sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you're right. We all were wrong about this team.
I tend to think it's better for ratings when you're wrong. Like I've shared articles with Jordan. Like, if you're wrong, you're probably going to get more listenership. Like, I'm not saying go out and be wrong on purpose, but if you have a hot take and it's wrong, people tend to listen in more. You're human, for God's sake. You're going to be wrong.
Dave in Connecticut up next on the show. Dave, what's going on?
Hi, guys. I liked Red's comments about keeping your head down for the next 5 games, and then when the ACC tournament comes up, they'll bring their heads back up. I couldn't get over that one. And
what do you mean by that? He was just saying keep your nose to the grindstone.
I don't think he meant that. He just said, I don't know, maybe he did mean keep your head to the grindstone.
Yeah,
but he said, we'll keep our heads down, and then when the tournament starts, we'll bring our heads up.
They're going to keep working. They'll pop their heads up for the ACC
one
tournament.
Game and get knocked out of the tournament. My question to you guys, now, they played North Carolina great for 10 minutes in that second half. Why not go to a full-court defense?
Okay.
Why not go to the full-court press, at least for 5 minutes like Boeheim used to do? That's what brought them towards...
Boeheim used to get killed for not pressing.
For pressing too much, you mean?
No, he would not.
I see.
He would get killed for not pressing, and now he did it every game. Like we all have like just
revisionist history.
Yeah. How many calls did we take that he needed to press more? And he's like, we can't do it all game. We only can do it when we're like. They did it in spots when they were down.
Did it out of desperation.
They never did it. Yeah, they never did it proactively.
Yeah. Yeah, that was generally the case, and we saw
everybody
that
hated him for
in
it.
Chapel Hill, right? They got down, they started scrambling. They did force some turnovers and got themselves back in it by making shots.
Thanks for the call, Dave.
It's not the worst idea ever, but it's
it is something different.
They might do it,
right?
Yeah,
we'll see. They also don't have their best player, so it might even work better.
But to get mad at him for saying the players are going to keep their head down, I think you're just reaching there.
I was going to say, I think he misunderstood that comment. I
don't
took
know
from it what you said, which keep your head down and work hard.
Yeah, it's like,
and then when it's time to play, now you bring your head back up and and now you play the game.
What else would that mean?
Keep your head down, meaning like
just be
down in the
yes,
dumps.
exactly.
What a stupid.
Yes. Like you're down because you've lost or whatever.
Yeah, you know what, guys? We're just going to mope through the rest of the season.
I think it goes back to people hear what they want to hear. And but that is not what I took from it.
I didn't. That thought never even crossed my mind that we're just going to be depressed for the rest of. Guys, you know what? Everybody get off your meds. We're just going to be depressed the rest of the season. And then when the ACC tournament comes back, party! Let's go. Heads up.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I guess he's thinking that Red knows the regular season doesn't matter, and he was taking it as Red was saying, "Oh yeah, it doesn't even matter the rest of the regular season. We'll just pick our heads up when we have a chance." In the
keep your head down.
tournament."
It means to stay. When you're in deep trouble, keep your head down and just keep going.
Today's business is brought to you by Superior Plus Propane. Just quickly, we'll get to Matt Park in our next segment. The Darren Peterson saga took another turn last night. He scored 23 points. Can't remember off the top of my head what it was. Only played 18 minutes. Made a 3 early on in the second half. Only played 3 minutes in the second half. Turned right around to Bill Self and indicated, "I want to come out of the game." Bill Self finally made some comments post-game that were sort of passive-aggressive, saying, we're used to this. I think our team was surprised that, we thought he'd be full of strength today, and he wasn't. This is just such a wild story because he's probably still going to be one of the top draft picks because he's just that good, but he's getting to come out of the game whenever he wants right now.
It is odd. It really is. The whole situation is odd. I'm sure that they're doing it because, they don't want him to get hurt. They know he's going to be the number one pick. His people are trying to protect him. He's trying to protect himself. But it's almost like, what's the point of playing then? Like, why play some if you're, listen, he's obviously uber talented and he went off in the first half, but, he played 3 minutes in the second. I mean, I don't think it was a fatigue thing. They just had the halftime break and then he hits a 3 and says, "I'm out and I'm done." And, I think Bill Self, to your point about the comments, it sounds like reading between the lines, Bill Self is kind of tired of it right now. Just the kind of the passive aggressive way he answered some of those questions about him last night. It almost feels like they're kind of like rolling their eyes, like, here we go again. And, that's Darren being Darren type of thing. So I don't know that it's going to affect his NBA draft stock because he's that good. And it seems like him and his people are doing this to protect his stock, and so he doesn't get hurt. But it's just like, listen, if you're going to play, then play. And that's apparently what Bill Self told him a couple of weeks ago during warmups when he was just kind of like loafing around. He's like, listen, if you're going to play tonight, go hard, like you're going to play. And then Darren Peterson was like, no, I don't feel well. I'm not going to play at all. So that's got to be tough when the player. It feels like the player has more control over the situation than the coach does.
Not good, and I hope that it doesn't become a trend in college basketball. It's almost a shame that it seems like he's kind of going to get away with this, and he's still going to get everything he wants, probably, which is be one of the top 3 draft picks.
Yeah, for sure. That's what it seems like.
All right. Great. He's just, I don't want to deal with this. And like I was telling you guys, like the player is in complete control of that situation, and that can't happen.
Yeah.
The inmates are running the asylum. He does not have his head down and just grinding.
No.
He's got his head in the clouds, just waiting for the NBA.
He's got his head in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
He's got his head at the next level. Like he's over it. He's over college. Do you have a kicker or anything for us?
Oh, I do. You ever heard of DWI, Steve?
Yeah.
Well, here's a special version. Dentistry while intoxicated.
Ooh.
A Texas dentist was arrested for allegedly performing surgery while intoxicated at her dental office. Kelly Buck, 36, was taken into custody at pediatric Pediatric Dentistry. Maybe I should be fired. Of Sherman.
A little more salt on my food next time.
Practice in the horticulture building.
Yeah. The caller alleged that there was a dentist practicing while intoxicated. So there you go.
I hope the patient was okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to worry about that, Steve, because your mouth is perfect. No dent.
I didn't say it was perfect. I don't have any cavities. It's not perfect.
Have you ever had surgery done or any oral issues?
I have, yes.
Wisdom teeth?
I had wisdom teeth out. I had 6 teeth pulled prior to braces. And then I had braces for like 3 years. I did have my wisdom teeth out. And,
did you play basketball with braces?
Yeah.
You ever get a hard foul?
I don't know. Doesn't come to mind at the moment, but I'm sure that happened.
You ever have a cavity, Tim?
Let's get to Matt Park. I've had a couple cavities.
Yeah,
nothing crazy. Average amount, I'd say.
Steve had a 3.9 too at school and no cavities. He's a perfect angel. Let's take a time out.
Matt Park joins us next on ESPN Radio.
I didn't say he had a purty mouth. I said he had a perfect mouth. Same difference. How do you take, you just want to hate red at that point, right?
Yeah.
If you just keep your head down. It took
I think that was a pretty bad answer to your question. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing, yeah.
It wasn't, but like after he says nothing, am I going to push him on? Could you elaborate on nothing?
It's like he didn't understand your question, or I don't know. He jumped to the conclusion of it, but
yeah,
I think he's probably upset that he thinks people are just like, how do you not make adjustments? And he's like, well, it's really tough. But say that, don't be like, we can't do anything.
Yeah. Is it weird that Syracuse is back in that NIL tournament next year?
No, because I think they signed up for it. Yeah. They committed to 3 years, I think.
So, but well, maybe they haven't gotten paid. And then the way, the story I heard was that Iowa State booked their flight before they got there out. So it forced them into scheduling, and then they got to pick Syracuse. And it's just garbage the way they treat them. So if you didn't get paid and then that happens.
There's something a little fishy. I think the Big 12 has some stake in that tournament, and the Big 12 teams got a good draw.
I don't know, but I would assume there would be a TBT. Are they struggling financially? I know the interest has dwindled. It's not on ESPN anymore. I mean, they'll have a new coach. They'll win the whole Vegas NIL tournament next year. That's what I was told. Or they'll lose by Houston to 1 and we'll celebrate like they won the Natty. Like y'all did. I did. I had sources. That's what my sources told me was Iowa State either booked their flight before or booked their flight to get out. And so it kind of stuck Syracuse in that game. Should I ask Matt Park if he wants Adam Weitzman to be the AD, Steve? People are losing their minds. If you're going to make fun of somebody, use "you're" in the right. You're a clown, NIL. You're a bad English. You are. I will ask Matt Park nothing but the hardest questions. I haven't asked Matt Park on the air about the stakes we had in where the hell were we? Oh, at UVA. That was rough. Ask Matt Park how he slept? Okay. Man, he's got a lot of basketball-type songs, Steve. I missed again. That could have been Syracuse versus Duke in the first half. I got crushed on Twitter the other day for saying they were getting good looks in the first half. They just weren't making them. When you're playing Duke, you can't miss.
Yeah. Got to make shots, and you got to hope that Duke has an off night, and neither one of those things happened.
Syracuse A game, Duke D game.
Yeah, and it was the opposite.
Yeah.
Duke played sharp, 62% from the field, and Syracuse did not. And the result was a 37-point loss.
I won't joke about what I just said. We'll go right to Matt Park.
Let's bring on Matt Park. Matt, you go back to the beginning of the season, they almost beat / should have beat Houston. They did beat Tennessee. They were competitive with Kansas. And all of that was without Donnie. And now, you fast forward and, they're down 30-plus at UNC before coming back. They lose by 37 to Duke. Why did we go from that to this? And this team's been non-competitive against some really good teams of late.
I don't know if I've got a grand explanation other than to say it's sports. If it was robots and everything was supposed to be the same every time or react consistently, based on some mathematical formula or whatever, then we probably wouldn't be as interested in it over the long haul. It's human performance. Some days you have it, some days you don't. And the teams that have it the best, the most consistently are the ones that win. That's why they play the games. I think the alarming thing really is they played pretty well in that stretch without Donnie Freeman, who we all would, I guess there's an argument to be made now that Nate Kings is a more consistent contributor, but Donnie Freeman, for all intents and purposes, is the best player and the best NBA prospect right now, pro prospect, let's put it that way. And they played without him and, showed their top end performance over that period was better than what we've seen in recent games here. I think a lot's been made, and probably justifiably, of the fact they've been buried on the road against two good teams. North Carolina's good, Duke is really good, and it's been an eyesore. There's no way around it. I tend to think this is true in all things. You're never as good as you look on your best day or as bad as you look on your worst day or somewhere in between. And I think this team has shown a great degree of variation.
Is it fair to just ignore the SMU and Cal games? Did the Duke game just completely wash those away?
I wouldn't ignore them. I mean, again, we all know the math here about what is in terms of making the tournament and all that and how long a shot it is. So for that, they didn't really help you that much. But you came back and you won games at home against two teams that are in the middle of the pack or the lower middle of the pack in the conference, and going on the road against a Duke team that may play for the national championship. It's just a totally different realm, So why? To me, the results there, win and loss, are about as expected. I think they were expected to beat Cal. SMU was kind of a toss-up, or maybe a little worse, and they ended up winning that game. And going to Duke, they were a huge underdog and could play Duke 10 more times and probably might not win any of them. So the fact that it played out that way, to me, is not a surprise.
You brought up the name Donnie Freeman. When you look at his season, how do you kind of assess what Donnie has been for this team this year. It's been kind of mixed reviews, I would say, up and down. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, Donnie's got a lot to offer. I think it has shown that he's got a long way to go to be where he wants to be. Let's just say this in a blanket statement related to past good players and the next wave of good players and what have you. It's really hard to make the NBA. To make it for a day, you're pretty good. And to sustain it for any period of time is really impressive. And what I'm seeing from Donnie right now is a guy who may be a pro or an NBA player someday, but right now is showing he's a ways off of that. And that's fine. He's a sophomore in college. He's got time to grow into it, and hopefully it comes from him someday. But I would think if he's truly draft worthy or what have you this time around, he wouldn't have the ball taken away from him by guards. And that's happening here and now. He has a lot of pressure on him, I think. I think he feels it. I think one of the thoughts about having him come in off the bench that one time was, hey, we don't all have to defer to Donnie at the start of the game. Let's kind of get things rolling and then see how he mixes in. He's not necessarily a fast starter. But he's still at this level, can be and is a very good player. I think he brings a lot to the table. He's got a lot of strengths and a lot of skills, room to grow and develop, obviously. And that's why I think you see some fluctuation. Cameron Boozer is on a different level. And that kind of matchup is going to be a problem. And it's not just for Donnie. It's for everybody that's played Cameron Boozer this year. So I think a lot's expected of Donnie, that because he is so highly thought of and has the background and the high recruiting ranking and all that he's supposed to be some all-conference stud in his sophomore year. And it looks like he's just off that right now.
I'm going to ask you about another individual player, Nathan George. Obviously there's some games left to be played, but a lot of people are looking forward to next season. Regardless of who the leader of the program is next season, would you want Nathan George back?
That's going to be a decision for the coaches, be they existing, internal, external, what have you. Again, he's got pedigree, and you can see the potential on the top end. I don't know that he benefits, from moving on or, being dismissed. It's kind of like, if the point guard is the quarterback on a basketball team, it's like putting yourself in position of these people we talk about with Sam Darnold and Hurts, and you have a different offensive coordinator every year for 8 years. It's not putting yourself in position to succeed, because I think that's what we have to. If you have to look at what did George, what's his step back, if any, from last year? How did he lead the conference in assists last year on a just okay team, if that, maybe not a great team, to this year? Should be on theoretically a better team, and he doesn't have quite the same numbers. Then does it have to do with the style of offense or his approach, or he's had a slump or that type of thing? So I think the new coach has to decide, if there is a new coach, or if it's the current coaching staff, whatever. You got to decide, does this person fit what we want to do? I don't think he's earned a boot, to move on from him. I think, he may have been a reach in the portal, maybe, but it's hard to say. We talked about this off the air before. You're lying to yourself. If you didn't think you wanted the conference leader in assists, it was all ACC and from Toronto, you didn't want him coming in, you're lying to yourself. So if you're going to claim now, hey, this didn't work out because he's not Sherman Douglas, well, it's just human performance. It's the nature of the beast. I think 9 out of 10 people evaluating the same situation, if they had the opportunity to bring Nathan George in, would have done it.
You use the quarterback comparison, but he tends to make Brett Favre type decisions when he is actually Sam Darnold. It's kind of head scratching.
I think you're on. Yeah, and how and why? I mean, how many times a game do we go? Right, and it happens, and I how you coach that out of a guy, I don't know. It's not from a lack of trying. The thing they've worked on with Nathan George, and I think this has been publicized, is, and this really is probably true for all the guys, but let's let's play it snappier. Let's make the decisions quicker. When right, wrong, or indifferent, at least be decisive. When you're coming down the floor and you get to that free throw line, you got to know what you're doing with it. And the intended recipient of the pass needs to be there and locked in and make eye contact. We can't be just just because William Kyle or even Soiree, for that matter, have extraordinary reach and leaping ability, Donnie Freeman, just because that works here and there, we can't be willy-nilly just throwing the ball around the yard. And then there are those head scratchers when it's a pass, bounced off somebody's shins or something to that effect. So it happens. He's trying like heck. He's doing the best he can. And is he going to be all conference this year? No, he's not. And it's the way it goes. It's just the hand they were dealt with. And I think they're trying to improve it over time, and what you see is what you get.
This is obviously a time of transition up there at the university. New chancellor, new AD coming in, potentially a new head basketball coach. Do you have a feel for the timeline with a chancellor and with a new AD?
I don't specifically, other than to say I think you can be constantly working on this. I think the chancellor part of it, and this is with no internal knowledge really, nobody said anything to me and I haven't asked. Just because it hasn't been publicized doesn't mean that they aren't really close to the end of that. I'm sure they're closer to the end than is publicly known. Then the athletic director part of it, you can get on that right now. And a number of the candidates, we know there's one candidate who's on staff right now, at least one, and there are other candidates that aren't ADs at other places, so they don't have quite the same extraction, in terms of having to tie up affairs at another place. They all have other jobs, of course, but you can start working on their ideas and identifying that and talk to people about who they, what they think of the basketball program and what that's all part of I guarantee you that's part of getting to know somebody as a prospective AD. What do you think's going on here, football and basketball? What's your overall observation of Syracuse's position in this whole thing? What's your intention of the direction, and what are your feelings? That's how you decide on who you hire for that position. And so that's starting the ball rolling already on an evaluation of this basketball season, if and when a change gets made and that type of thing, and then how they go from there.
I know that you listen to the show sometimes. You talk about that, and so I'm sure you've heard the conversations around Mike Hopkins, Jerry McNamara, when their names come up. Some people love the idea. Some people absolutely hate the idea. What would you say to someone, a fan who is very much turned off by the idea of Hop or Jerry being the next head coach here?
Yeah, I would just want to hear more. I want to have a conversation about it. I want to hear, tell me why. I've heard Paulie phrase it, you don't want to have happen to them what's happened to Red. And I get that. I do. I think you don't want to have back-to-back sons of the program sputter. Because, I think if the cards were laid out differently, it could have been more successust for Red. And the fact of the matter is it hasn't worked out that great to this point. What I don't really get is just the blank assumption or understanding that anybody who's ever met, I've seen it posted, nobody who's ever met Jim Boeheim should work here, or that anyone is tainted. We're really only talking about two people. I mean, for all intents and purposes, two people. You named them, okay? Jerry McNamara and Mike Hopkins. You want to tell me that Jerry McNamara hasn't shown you enough in 2 years? Okay, that's a reason. You want to tell me Mike Hopkins wasn't successful enough at Washington? Okay, that's a reason. Just because they have familiarity here, or just because they played college basketball under Jim Boeheim, to me is not a disqualification. I don't get why that computes. So I'd have to hear more about people who have that opinion. I'd have to hear more about what they say. I think you have to pick up the phone and talk to them, even just hear them out. Fine. Maybe they'll tell you they're not interested. Maybe Jerry says, it's not my time. Maybe Hop says, no, I think I'm closer to a NBA head coaching job, or I'd rather do something different. I'm not going to back away from it. Time has passed, but when Mike Hopkins left, I said that if he wanted to come back, I would pick him up and drive him. I was being dramatic because he was in Seattle. I think very highly of both of those guys, and I think they would bring a lot positive to the table. Are they the only ones? Absolutely not. So I think you have to cast a wide net. And I think we've talked about this before, but I think there's a lot of different people you talk to, a lot of constituents, get a sense of what all these different type of people can bring to the table and have, I'm sure it'll be a committee decision, have a lot of smart people in the room that can help make the best decision for the future of the program and for the school. But would not absolutely dismiss them out of hand. No way.
Matt, this crossed my mind yesterday, and I'm hoping it's not true. Is it possible that maybe Jim Boeheim was just that good and did something in Syracuse? That maybe can't be replicated?
I wouldn't say it can't be replicated, but he was that good. I think people don't understand the challenges and limitations and what he did. And I love the idea, he stayed on too long. He wanted to coach his kids still playing in the NBA. So, and it's hard to get to the NBA. And he must have done something right there. But it is hard. It's hard to win in a lot of places, and this is one of them. And the idea even to sustain it's very difficult. I think going back to the previous question, is there a supposition that Boeheim is controlling Autry or the program now like it's a puppet show? And this is somehow his doing, because I don't sense that that's happening. I know he has keys to the gym, and I've seen him at practice. What I see, he comes in, he watches, and he walks out. But he was really good, and he put the place on the map. We're going to honor the 1975 guys this year. That's what turned this program from being a cute little public school, or private school rather, in the Northeast, playing St. Bonaventure and Niagara and what have you, and put it on the map to play in a national level, the forerunner of the Big East and all of that. And under Jim Boeheim, it exploded into something different. Doesn't mean it couldn't have with somebody else, but it did because he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, well said, Matt. All right, we got to run. Have a good show tonight and good broadcast Saturday, and we'll see you inside the Dome Saturday.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
All right, Matt Park joining us here on the show.
A lot of people getting on Matt for saying that Buddy Boeheim was an NBA player. He is currently on the roster of the...
Yeah, he's got a two-way deal.
He's on OKC's roster right now. And even if he's just in the G League, get the hell out of here with that take. He's just in the... That means he was good enough to play at Syracuse. Can we just stop? Buddy Boeheim was a great basketball player. Thank you.
All right, we'll wrap things up next on ESPN Radio.
If you want to get on Jimmy Boeheim, pile on. It wasn't his fault they missed the tournament, Dilemma Q's. Gaper, if Buddy Boeheim did not come here and they had the career he had, you would be the first one bitching that he didn't play here. Same thing with Joe Girard. Take out the three-point line, Tronic. I don't know if you remember this. He's a big dude, and he would back players down his senior year. Yeah, this chat is lost its mind. You just said, Buddy, gargle, gargle, gargle. What does that mean then? What does that mean? What does it mean? What did you mean? No, that's not what you're saying. Get the hell. I'm not stupid, Gabriel. What if we do a throwback day? You know how they used to do 80s day at the Dome? We do 80s day here, and everybody has to listen on the AM, and we don't have the chat. What do you guys think?
The AM.
Oh, I was reading it. I love everybody. I got to get the artist of the day up here. I didn't write it down today. I was so good yesterday. Oh, for God's sake. Ooh, they rhyme. That might be a first for voting. We've never had back-to-back rhyming artists.
So when you say it forwards and then backwards, you got to do it right. Then it'll be exciting.
Yeah, because it'll rhyme both ways.
Right.
It's a two-way street, Steve.
Steve's tired. I can tell.
I'm tired.
I'm adding one more. I'm on fire right now. I wrote it down. I got the next song all queued up. I wish it wouldn't rain, Steve. Close out with this slow skate. So many songs. I think we could have done a Phil Collins week. When you're not old enough, Tim, but Phil Collins dominated the radio when we were kids. Like any channel you turned on, Phil Collins was on.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would say my takeaway is he's underrated by seeing or hearing all these.
You could take that at face value.
I see what you did there.
That was released today. That's why we're celebrating his illustrious career. Tomorrow, White Stripes, Pet Shop Boys, Rihanna, Nirvana, Pat Benatar, Rick James, Pat Benatar, Nirvana, Rihanna, Pet Shop Boys, or White Stripes.
What is White Stripes?
Seven Nation Army. They used to play it at the Dome a lot.
Thought that was the team that won the NBA All-Star game. Wasn't it like USA Stripes versus... I turned that on and I was like, what's going on here? It's USA versus USA. And it was Stars versus Stripes.
You know this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know any others. I don't know. Hold on. Let me look. What we have in the system.
Have you felt, Paulie, you're courtside for all the games? Is Thunderstruck like too loud?
It's loud.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm okay. I'm glad you said it because I'm old. But man, turn it down.
It is loud.
And there were a couple games this year. I was like, oh my god,
it just doesn't work either. They need to get a better shot. That's not it.
Well, that's like if you ask ChatGPT what song should we start our basketball game with, they'd probably say that. So it's a little tired, I'd say. Mix it up.
Yeah, it's not good. They do have a couple songs. Fell in Love with a Girl.
Do I know this?
You do now. You don't know what love is? The icky thump. Yeah, the dead leaves and a dirty girl.
I've heard enough to make my decision.
Dirty ground. Okay, once again, Rihanna, Nirvana, Pet Shop Boys, White Stripes, Pat Benatar, Rick James.
Rihanna.
Wow, I'm thinking Rihanna too. Let's go.
What were you going with?
I did not think you were going to go Rihanna, Steve.
Paulie was disappointed.
I was either Pet Shop Boys, Nirvana, or Rick James. Pat Benatar would have worked. Anybody but
Rihanna. Okay.
Hell is for children and me, apparently.
All right. Well, what do you got coming up on Drive Time tonight, Tim?
I am going to do a Top 5 Tuesday, I call it, on Thursday because my show's been riddled with callers this week, but I'm going to rank my top 5 coaching candidates right now, and we can discuss that, whether it's in family, outside the family, how they should go about it if they do move on from Adrian Autry.
Okay.
Rihanna says his show is full of diamonds, and it's under the umbrella of
She
greatness.
says, I run this town, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we got to go.
Umbrella.
We're out of time. For Paulie, for Tim, I'm Steve.
And if you owe him money, you know what she says.
I know she works.
Yeah.
Right?
She also has a song about someone owing her money.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. We got to go with that. We're out of time. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Tune in to Tim tonight at 5. We're back at it noon tomorrow.